Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on the channel, and in today's video I want to be talking about overpowered tanks. Now, there's a lot of overpowered tanks in the game. In fact, most overpowered tanks that we know have been the premium tanks or World of Tanks Blitz custom tanks. Now, before we get anywhere, let's just remind ourselves. Italian tanks are coming into the game. Amazing. Now, those of you who haven't played like World of Tanks console or PC, probably won't know anything about the Italian tank lines. But if you have played console or the PC version, you'll know that it's actually a really overpowered line. Mainly because simply of how much armor they have and how fast they reload. The DPM of the Italian tanks is great, and obviously the most exciting thing the tank in the line that I'm most excited about is the Progetto 65. It's a tier 10 tank, medium tank. It's an auto loader, and it absolutely wrecks people. So I'm really looking forward to it. So that I'm guessing that the Italian tank line will probably be an overpowered tank line. And currently there are still overpowered tank lines. Like I said, the World of Tanks Blitz custom tanks are normally really overpowered. For example, for the birthday event, we got those tanks and I like them. And in fact, I really enjoyed them, but I didn't want to keep them because I just felt like it was a bit bad for the game. You know when you like tanks, but then after a while you start to feel like they're overpowered? That's kind of what it felt like. I felt like I was being a bit of a troll with the tanks, because I managed to get the AMX, the Year 5 AMX. I played about like 5 games with it and I already got bored. It was just too overpowered. Plus as well, I'm going to be quite honest, the event was really easy to get these tanks. Now I know they're trying to make it fair for people to get like nice tanks, tier 7 tanks, to make like new players have some nice tanks in the garage, but I didn't like the tanks because it was really all about the DPM. That's what the tanks were about. They had very little armor, great DPM, and I liked it. Just thought they were too overpowered. So that's what I thought of them. Let me know in the comments what you think of that. And in today's video, like I said, we'll be talking about the overpowered tanks that are currently in the game. The one that we're talking about today is the Matilda. For those of you who don't know what the Matilda is, it's a British tank, and it's at tier 4. It's a heavy tank as well, right? First thing I want to say about this tank, the DPM is so-so, right? It's 818. But it's tier 4. What are you really expecting? But in this case, it's great because your armor is 95 on the turret, right? And the gun depression on this tank is 10 degrees. So working a ridge line, you're actually really effective. And then also, if you side scrape, if you look at the whole armor on the side and the size of the turret, 95 on the sides, 95 at the rear, 80 at the sides. I mean, think about it. This tank's actually really good at side scraping, and that's just because of these little dents that it has. That just like increases the effective armor and the shape of the tank. It just overall increases the effective armor. And this tank destroys enemy tanks within like a few seconds. It literally takes like about a couple of shots and they're dead. Let's go through the statistics. So I've already mentioned the armor profile of it. It's got 520 hit points, and the concealment for the tank is actually really good. If we have a look at what's in the store currently, which is the E25. This is with the boosters, right? And I'm sure they'll have the concealment value booster on. It's 44% while stationary and 26% while moving. Now, it's a heavy tank. You'd expect it to be pretty bad, right? Well, no, because of its size, it's actually really good with concealment. So that means you can hide in a bush and, well, pretty much kill your opponents instantaneously. The aim time is great with 3 seconds. The dispersion is good with 0.34. The elevation and depression is good, with the elevation being 20, the depression being 10. The speeds, it's what you'd expect from a heavy tank. But when you actually play it, the average speed is not 24, it's more like 30. So if you think about it, it's actually a really nice tank. The power to weight ratio is 11. The turret traverse speed and the hull traverse speed is not very good. The terrain crossing capacity is actually really good. So overall, this tank's really, really good. And I'll just rebought it back for the video. But I'm still going to keep it probably because I actually really like the tank. And I've played a game. And I just want to show you what the tank is like, right? So, we're here. We're on the map. Loading in. What's the first thing I think of? Well, there's another Matilda here. He's got the upgraded gun, he's got the upgraded turret, and he has the same hit points. So that's good. Let's look at the enemy team, which is what I did. Well, there's a BT-7 artillery. He's got no chance against me. The penetration for that, I think, is like 40 or 30 or something. It's not going to penetrate me. The DW2, now that's a problem. But you'll see later on what happens when we encounter it. M5A1 Stuart, agile tank. You'll also see later what happens when we come up to it. Now the Panzer IIIA, that's a really good light tank. Now I actually thought that this tank was good because it wasn't a high tier, it wasn't crazily overpowered. It was literally the Panzer III, but just faster. So it was essentially just the same old Panzer III. Which is fine, because they're basically just giving it to most players. So, it's getting a pretty nice little low-tier premium tank. The Chiha weren't able to penetrate us. The Panzer 4D, unless they've got the upgraded gun, they were able to penetrate us. So, yeah, let's look into the battle. What happens? So, I want to go right. I really want to go right. Because rights really keep hunting the map. As you can see, Sector 9 and Sector 6 is what I'm pointing to. As a heavy tank, if you can manage to get around there successfully without being held up by any enemies, that would be really good. So, me and the Matilda going at the same time. Look at the A20. This guy is just going to go up, and that's not good job, fella. Like, and it's an overpowered tank. It can do up to 200 damage if it penetrates you. I think that's pretty good. But overall, if it comes across the DW2, which it has, it won't do very well. Look at that. 334 of its hit points have been taken away instantly. Watch what I'm going to do here. Yes, I run into him, but I don't care. I'm going to look at that tank. I'm going to look at that Panzer form. Look at me go. Look at me like ricocheting all these shots. So this is great. I'm just going to keep hitting him. With this tank, you can just spam the button. It's so easy to do because the reload time is so good with 3.3 seconds. So I finish off this tank, the Panzer 4D, and the other Matilda, he's about to get flanked. And you can see there's a medium coming across, and I'm going to hit the DW2. That Panzer III gets annihilated, and here comes the M5A1 Stuart, but then I realised the DW2 is trying to flank me. So I'm telling the Matilda to hold the position and attack that M5. He manages to penetrate me here for like roughly 200. Now, if you think about that tank, the DW2, it's really overpowered, right? It can do 200 damage at a decent rate, but its DPM isn't that good. In the end, though, I managed to kill him. And that's just simply because my penetration is enough and I got up close enough. Watch again here. Panzer 4D, he HEs that cruiser. Now it's just literally taking as much damage away as you can. So there's Panzer IIIA, like I said, a very balanced tank in my opinion. and we're just gonna go up to him. Watch the cruiser too for now. It will take 80 of those hit points away. And I can tell that this guy really loves his camos because he's bought that nice camo. So we finish him off in here. Now there's a couple of tanks left. And I'm thinking, oh well, let's see what we can do, eh? So we've gone here, and there's the tanks aren't at spawn point, which tells us that they're not AFK. So they're probably, strolling around the map like light tanks and mediums do. And as you can see, the M7 managed to spot the Chiha. So we also spotted BT7 artillery as well, so that's good. We spotted them now. Cruiser 4 is just gonna rush in, which is good because it's gonna take some hit points away from those tanks. I'm thinking about going right, then I'm like, nah, there's no point. Watch this BT7 artillery. He's not gonna do any damage at all. That's like for that event where you could get the tank for free. You should have done better, mate. That tank's actually really good, especially against tier 3 vehicles. So here we go. BT7 artillery. Look at him go. He's trying to defend himself. He can't though. I somehow ricocheted that shot. I hit him here. Hit him here as well. I'm gonna get one more shot in. Yes, I do. And 1,086 damage. That's really good, personally. So, how well did we do? In my opinion, I think I did really well. Not an ace tanker. Good enough. So to summarize, this tank is really, really good. Tier for tier, it's absolutely amazing, this tank. The armor is great. If you compare it to other heavies, I mean, just look at the BT7. That's appalling, the stats. If you compare it, the side armor is trash, and it's so slow as well. Like, they're the same size, but this tank is just so slow. Even though it says its average speed is 27, it's not. This tank though is really good with its gun depression. And if you change the gun, if you don't really care that much about your DPM, well, you can get 18 degrees of gun depression. So this tank can basically be vertically still. So that's why when you get this tank stock, I think it's OP. So that's what I'm going to be doing next video. I'm going to be playing some of the other tanks that I have bought, like the A20, the B1, and the M5 Stuart. Little test. So obviously we're starting out low tier. We're going to go up tiers soon. That's going to end the video, guys. So hope you had a good time. I hope you guys will go for the British heavy tech-tree. I haven't at all. Obviously though, in the 6.2 update, they're bringing new consumables to the tank, so that's good. It means a little bit more balanced. So your boy is gonna be buying a couple of the tanks. I'm joking. I probably won't bash it that much. But I hope you guys have learned just to appreciate how OP this vehicle is tier for tier. Leave a like on the video if you want to see more of these videos. Leave a comment down below on what you think of the Matilda, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Thank you guys very much for watching, and please make sure you share the video with your friends and family. Hopefully they like the video as well. Thank you guys very much for watching. Bye bye.